Welcome to the third of my 10 15-minute yoga classes for complete beginners. So this third class is going to incorporate some of the poses from before, introduce you to some new poses, and hopefully we'll make some progress as we go along. So I'm starting in yet another beginning pose. This is called Virasana. So unlike the previous pose where I sat on my heels, my feet are now wider than my hips. My knees together, my feet wider, and I'm sitting on a block. You might need to sit on more than one block. So sit on something that lifts your hips up. Only the most flexible people would be able to sit on the floor between their heels. Sit up tall. And I want you just to, in this moment, in Virasana, the hero pose, which it's called, is to sit tall, close your eyes, and just become aware of your breath. Remember that the breath is really the key to yoga. It's the key to the success of this ancient practice. Remember from last time that when you consciously breathe, you bring a different part of your brain into play that turns on your relaxation response. That's an important part to remember. Okay, open your eyes, and we're going to do a twist from here. Take the right arm up, take it down behind you, just like we did last time, and then sit tall, take the left arm up and across the right thigh. Turn, look over your right shoulder. Keep the spine erect, don't lean into your right hand. Keep the spine vertical and look over your right shoulder. And breathe through your nose. Inhale back to center, left arm up, bring it down behind you. Take the right arm up and across the left thigh and look over your left shoulder. And breathe. Keep the head parallel to the floor so your eyes look naturally straight ahead. Inhale back to center, come up onto your knees, take the support out from under your buttocks and come onto your hands and knees. So we're back into quadruped, and we're going to revisit bird dog and cat cow. So let's start with cat cow. Let's exhale, look towards the navel, and remember, we're not trying to reach the full range of movement. We're just moving slightly here. So as I look towards the sky, I tilt the tailbone up. As I look towards my navel, my tailbone tucks down. That's tilting and tucking. Important to know that because it's a command you get in a lot of yoga poses, either tucking the spine, tucking the tailbone, or tilting it. Then we come into bird dog. We did this before, extending the left arm and the right leg. Now remember, you're not trying to get your hand and foot high. You're trying to get them the same height as your hips, because the focus here is keeping still, keeping balanced, and not involving the back. Bring the left arm down, right knee, right arm out, left leg out, and we're back into bird dog on the other side. And then come on down. We're going to do it a different way this time. We're going to do a different bird dog. Extend the left arm and the right leg, and then bring the knee and the hand under. And do this without rounding your back. Can you be aware of keeping your back still? If you're new to yoga, it may be hard. You may not know what your back is doing. You've never been asked to pay attention to that. Let's switch sides. Right arm, left leg. Moving them under, learning to move the arms and legs while the back remains stable. The back's main job is to remain stable in life while the arms and legs do the physical movement. Okay, so once again we need to move into plank and side plank because they're so important. So remember, you can just stay on your knees and stay in a plank like this in a straight line, but once you gain the strength, straighten your legs and stay in a straight line like this. Let's come on to the right hand today and keep the spine straight. So know when you transition to the other side in a moment, you're going to keep the spine in a straight line, the whole body, across to the other side. Come on to the left hand, and the body is in a straight line, side plank, and then come back to the center, and let's come up to standing. Because today we're going to work in two quite challenging standing poses. So for the first, I'd like you to stand facing the long edge of the mat and have your feet wide like this. Look down, make sure the outer edges of your feet are parallel to each other and to the short edge of the mat, and take the arms up. This is star pose. And then from star pose, we move into side star. So we turn the left foot out, the right foot in, keep the chest facing the long edge of the mat, extend out, and then bring your left hand down onto your left leg and your right hand up. So this is triangle. And then inhale, come on up. And you notice I pivoted from my hips. I didn't round the back, and I didn't bend the legs. Other side. So I turn the right leg out, the right foot out, the back foot in. My right kneecap faces the center of my toes. I extend out. I don't curve the spine. I keep it long on the right side. Bring my hand down onto my shin and take the other hand up. And look up. Looking up's not important. What's more important is keeping the legs straight and strong and pivoting at the hip crease. And then inhale and come on up. Now I'm going to take you into a transition into a pose called half moon. And because it's challenging, I'm going to do it against the wall. So I'm going to stand back against this wall. I'm going to put a block on the floor here. Stand with the feet wide apart. Go back into triangle, left foot turned out, right foot turned in. Come down. And this time, I'm going to bend the front leg. So I'm moving from triangle into half moon. So I got my bottom hand on a block and I'm leaning into the wall like this. So half moon is normally done in the middle of the room, but we're doing it against the wall to help with balance. To come out, I come out with grace, back into triangle, inhale, come up, and then we do the other side. So take the block across to the other side. So the great benefit of half moon is that it builds enormous strength in the legs and lower body. It's good for flexibility, but it's also good for balance once you get away from the wall. So we start off right foot turned out, back foot turned in, both legs straight into triangle. Triangle is the transition. Top hand on the hip, bend the front leg, step forwards, come up into half moon. So I'm really working my left glutes to get that left leg up parallel to my body. I don't try to put my right hand on the floor because I collapse my chest and round my back. And then open the chest and try and bring the top hand back against the wall as well. Back of my head on the wall, but top foot against the wall, and then gradually coming down, inhale, coming up, and stepping the feet together. So that is half moon. That was a challenging one, but doing it against the wall will help you to feel more comfortable with that. So let's go from here down onto our hands and knees, and let's explore downward dog again. Such a wonderful pose for building strength in the upper body and stretching our hamstrings and calves. So I look at my hands, they're widely spread, just like they were for bird dog, turning the toes under, lifting the hips up towards the sky. Keep the knees bent, move the chest towards the thighs, and press the thighs back and the heels down. Downward dog. So the challenge here is to move the chest towards the thighs. So you want it to look more like an inverted triangle than a round. You don't want to be rounded and humped in the back. You want the back to be straight, the legs to be straight, reaching a point at the hips. And then come down on your hands and knees. And I want you to have an opportunity to do another back bend, but this time laying on the back. So lay on your back. This is bridge pose. Bring the heels in close to the buttocks. Lengthen the back of the neck. Have the feet and narrow hip width apart. Feet and knees the same distance. Palms face the floor. And then this is where tucking comes in. Tuck your tailbone, engage your core, and lift up. And we can make this pose a little more energetic by interlacing the fingers under our back. Keep the arms straight, the fingers interlaced, and pull the left shoulder under.
And then pull the right shoulder under. And then the back becomes narrower and the chest is broader. And this is something we want to achieve in life. We want the chest to be expanded so that breathing becomes more effective and powerful. I'm separating the hands, turning the palms up, and keeping the hips lifted. There are many variations on bridge, and this is the simplest one we're doing today. And then I'm coming down, rolling on my side, and coming up to sitting. And we're going to do a seated twist now. So I'm going to sit on a block. Bring the block under my buttocks and sit right on the center of this block. I could be on a blanket, a folded blanket. This will do though. Fingertips beside me. Always start in the staff pose and then bend the right leg and bring the heel in close to the groin. Hold on to the top of the knee. And when I hold the knee, I can get the chest lifted. So this is a pose dedicated to the sage Marichi. Hold the knee with the left hand, take the right hand down behind you, sit up tall. Take the left hand up and bring it across the right thigh. If that's challenging, you could just hold around the front of the knee. Turn, so remember the spine is always erect. You're looking over your right shoulder. And then inhale, come to center. We do the other side. Straighten the right leg, bend the left leg, bring the heel in close to the groin. Hold on to the top of the knee, lift the chest, take the left hand down behind you, maintain the height and the length of the spine, and look over your left shoulder, and breathe. With each breath, explore the depth of your twist. Know that you're working all those paraspinal muscles, the obliques, the multifidi, and so on. Quadratus lumborum. Inhale back to center. Straighten your legs out. And we're going to start working on a forward fold. So we're going to work on Janushasana, which we've done before. So my right leg drops out to the side. I hold the strap with my left hand, I keep my left leg straight, hold the strap with both hands, and hold the pose like this. Elbows out to the side, coming forwards, lengthening the back of the neck. You remember we're pivoting at the hip crease. It's such a nice pose, stretching one hamstring at a time. Inhale, come up. Let's work on the other side. The right leg is straight, the left knee is dropped out to the side. And I'm holding on to the right foot, elbows out to the side. Left knee is pressing down into the mat. Inhale, come on up. So we're coming towards the end of the class now. So I'm going to have you move into Shavasana. So I'm going to introduce you to a different concept in Shavasana today, is putting a bolster under your knees. Some people like to do this. You could put a roll blanket. So it goes under my knees. And I lay down and turn my palms up and just enjoy. Once again, coming immediately to my breath. Today, we're not only going to listen to the breath, but we're also going to notice sounds. What sounds can you hear? Sounds of children, traffic, home appliances. What can you hear? And let that be an anchor for your mind to escape the tyranny of thought. We don't have time for a very long Shavasana today, so we're going to bend our knees again, roll onto the right side, use your left hand and bring yourself up to sitting. You could always take a longer Shavasana and just ignore the end of the video or pause it. I hope you've enjoyed this third yoga class. We've got 7 more to go. Each one will take us into some new and different pose.
So for now, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you at class number 4.